Namaste ji, namaste, sat shri akal. Welcome to Courtroom. My name is Sahaj, and today let us discuss about NLSAT LLB. Well, because the examination date has been announced to be on the 27th of April. This is the exam that NLSIU Bangalore uses to conduct admissions to its 3-year LLB program. In this session, I'll be taking up your FAQs. I'll be taking up the seat matrix. I'll be taking up the reservation policy. I'll be taking up the scores of students who have made it in previous years. This examination was conducted for the first time in 2022. To teach better for it, I also attempted it in 22 to better understand what the examination requires. We created a vlog for that. There is a dedicated NLSAT playlist on this channel. Do explore it to get to know about various strategies used by students to crack this exam. We are going to be discussing all that, and then in future further sessions I am going to be discussing dedicatedly about part A, part B, essay. So if you are interested in this exam, do explore the NLSAT playlist that is there on the channel. So we are going to be starting off with your first question. Do I have enough time? Absolutely yes. You need around 3 months of dedicated prep to tackle this exam, to take your most, you can say, the fairest shot that you can take, the best shot, the best attempt that you can take at this examination. I will be giving you, as I've already told you before, the scores that people have managed in the exam. And to better answer this question, again, we'll need to understand what the examination requires from us. So you have 2 sections to the exam, that is part A and part B. Now part A is all about critical reasoning, part B is all about legal reasoning. So I'll just start off from there, and then in a further session, which will be uploaded I think now on a weekly basis on YouTube, we'll do 1 session per week in which we'll be taking up sample questions and sample situations of part B, and then let us see where it goes. Perhaps it is 5 sessions, 7 sessions, 10 sessions, whatever comes out. All right. Now part A is 75 questions. It is CR, CA and RC. So for example, let us say that they give you a passage on some random book on feminism, for example. Then the current affair question can be on, let us say, who has been, just giving you a very sample question, that who's become the first woman, or Atishi is the dashed CM of Delhi. So let's connect it to a current affair question from this year only. Is the dashed CM of Delhi a dashed female CM of Delhi? So who was the first female CM ever in India? That becomes the but obvious question, but that depends on whether the passage is connected to that theme. Now you cannot predict what passage that they are going to be asking you in the exam. So CR is mainly, what is the author trying to say? What will the author agree with? What will the author disagree with? And then you have some reading comprehension elements. So for example, 1 question per passage. So you're given, I think, around 8 odd passages in part A, and out of which questions are extracted. So around 75 questions are there. And then you have 6 to 7 critical reasoning questions, and around 2 odd questions are from current affairs, and 1 odd question is a reading comprehension style question in which the answer is already there in the passage. All right. Now part B is again 75 marks. You have 10 cases that are given to you for you to decide. So these are legal situations. Now let me be very upfront with you before anyone accuses coaching academies to tell that you need to study torts, contract, constitution, IPC. You need not study even 1 subject for this, because for part B they are specifically going to be testing your reasoning, that whether you can apply your mind to a given situation which is legal in nature. There is no prerequisite of knowing the law. You need not study contract, torts, constitution, etc. Nothing is needed. You will be given a situation. So for example, let us say that you come into this center to attempt a mock test for NLSAT, and a tube light falls on your head, wherein the academy has, even though this will not ever happen, but any which way, even though the academy has taken all safeguards and to prevent such a mishap happening, decide for 10 marks. Who are you going to? So the student decides to sue. So decide who are you or on which side are you. That's simply part B. There is no need to mention any section, there is no need to mention any concept of law, there is only one need to apply your mind, and you are free to take either side. You can go to the academy side and say, the institute side and say, well, they had put in all safeguards in place, there was no negligence on their part, etc., etc. However, you can take the student side as well, and you can decide the case in their favor, that you will decide to award them damages. You can use the layman language for that, as in that is compensation. And if you do not use the legal language, it doesn't really matter. In fact, they are looking at, again, reasoning. All right. So no prior study of law is required. And then you have one essay for 15 marks. That is an analytical essay. Maybe, so they give 3 option choices. They have been giving 3 option choices since 23, because in 22 there used to be an interview. But 23 they have been giving 3 option choices which are related to current affairs and one static theme. So for example, essays can always range from the college gym systems, the reservation, all of those standard hot topics that that India/Bharat has always battled with in our social discourse. So that one such topic can come out, and then another analytical sort of a situation can always pop up, that will Trump's presidency affect India-US relations, something on those lines. Now part B question papers are not available anywhere. Part B 22 ka paper is available. I will upload all of those question papers on our website. You can visit our website and download those question papers 22, 23, 24. 22 ka part B is available. 23 ka part B is not available. Neither is 24 ka part B. So I don't think that they are available anywhere online because NLS never released them. Perhaps to reuse some of the past year questions as well, because it gets difficult to keep on creating newer scenarios. The older ones can always be rehashed and reused. Alrighty, so now this is the exam structure. Now we are going to be discussing these very topics in detail in future sessions. So I'm going to be taking a passage on part A, solving it out on YouTube and posting it here, and then I'm going to be solving out a situation for part B. I think I've already done so prior in a playlist, but I can't really recall as to a specific video. It must be there. If I can find it, I'll just mention it here. Go ahead and watch that. And yeah, and let's take up the essay. So 3 future sessions are already confirmed. Let us see what all is required for this exam. So let's start from this screen again. So that is, you have enough time. Yes, absolutely. I'm shooting this, I think today is the 28th of December. So you have around exactly 4 months right now. So Jan, Feb, and March, and the last April. I would advise you as someone, I'll show you the proportion of people who have gone ahead and gotten selected from our batches and mock tests only. So we never claim them to be full students if they are only enrolled in our mock test series. I'll mention the 23 and the 24 results to you, and you can decide for yourself. So you need to judge for yourself whether you need a coaching program for this or not. And that is entirely up to you. In my advice, you would do well to enroll for mocks, whether from us or whether from anywhere else. It doesn't really matter as such, but do check the quality and the content of the mocks. All right. So moving ahead to the seat matrix. Now my maths is slightly on the weaker side and I can be absolutely wrong, but this is what I could decipher from their notification, and this may be slightly off. If I'm incorrect, I apologize in advance. These numbers will be off by 1 to 2 seats, but these are very, very rough numbers. Now total seats are 120, so you have vertical reservations. Now vertical reservations exist like this. So all of your reservations of marginalized communities, so you call them as vertical reservations. So you break them down like this, and then you have horizontal reservations. So horizontal reservations go and cut across the vertical spectrum. Hopefully that is clear. Now, vertical reservations are given in Article 16, Clause 4 of the Constitution. Again, need not study it for NLSAT, but however, it is mandatory that you study it for CUT PG and MHCT. And then for horizontal, they are mentioned in 16.1 and 15.3. So, for example, reservations for women. So, they will cut across all of these categories. So, if you do the calculation, you will get 18 seats for SC, 9 seats for STs, OBC has 32, 12 for EWS, and I think the remaining 49 are general or unreserved. All right, and reservation policies apply at each and every stage. So, and Karnataka domicile is also there, Karnataka domicile reservation, but they have mentioned one keyword, it is compartmentalized. Now, what does that mean? That means Karnataka domicile reservations in proportion are reserved in each of these boxes. Now let us get to more number crunching, and I again mention that this may just be slightly off. Any which way, we'll try. So if you look at this, so when they are saying that you have, when you have 25% reservations, so 25% of 18 is around 4.5, so roughly we rounded off in the upper manner to go to 5, and then when you are looking at 2.25, then you have, well, 2 seats here. All right, now OBC is 32, so 1/4 of that is 8, and EWS is 12, so 1/4 of that is 3. So now what are these? So these are the 30 seats that have been reserved for folks from Karnataka. And what all do you need to get the domicile reservation? It is all there on the website. Go ahead and study it. The conditions are there. So out of 49 seats in the general category, 12 are also reserved for folks from Karnataka dedicatedly. So that is how this is compartmentalized. So you have 12 in general, you have 3 in EWS. So in each vertical category, you get compartmentalized reservations across the vertical spectrum. Women reservations, they are not compartmentalized. So you have women have 36 seats and they are open in all categories. So they, in fact, based on merit, they can perhaps take up seats in any category. How does that work out? Let us think about that as well. But do not over calculate and over analyze all of this, because well, I've seen students based on my experience they usually end up over analyzing, over calculating, and the attempt goes bad. So just have this general knowledge. Now, women 36 with sufficient merit can claim seats in any category. 36 तो reserved ही हैं, उसके ऊपर भी आप जा सकते हैं. So now if we deduce the final amount, Karnataka domicile is at 25%, PWD is at 5%, and 30% is women across all categories. So you have 36 seats that are reserved for women across all categories. PWD is 6 seats in this breakup. Karnataka domicile has 5, 2, 8, 3, 12, total 30. And यहाँ पे आपका ये वाला जो scenario है, it totals out to 120 total seats. However, 120 total seats के अंदर 18, 9, 32, 12 and 49 belong to these vertical categories, as in I've not made the table vertically this time around. And out of those, out of 18, you are looking at 5 reserved for Karnataka, you are looking at 5 as in 1 reserved for PWD, and these 36, they can vary across all of these categories because the word compartmentalized is not mentioned. All right. Now, they have also mentioned that reservation policy applies at each stage of the selection process, and they've also mentioned that they will be analyzing answer scripts in I think 1:5. So basically for every 1 seat, they are going to be analyzing 5 answer scripts. So general category has 49 seats. So the top 45 make it to an assessment for part B. And out of that, again, only 49 are going ahead. So out of 18 SC seats, you multiply that by 5, you get the top 90 whose answer scripts will be assessed for part B. And then similarly, the top 45, the top 60, I believe, and EWS is top 60. I think OBC ki kitni thi, we'll just multiply that by 5. So OBC was 32. Yeah, so that should be 160. All right. So out of these, I had written 160, but I was in doubt whether that one is a mark or is 160 in itself. Any which way. So these answer scripts go ahead. This is the number of answer scripts that go ahead to get assessed for part B, and then the final list is prepared based on the, for example, now women seats are spread out across all categories, so based on how many marks each person is scoring and to fit them into which category. So that, like for example, let us say that there is a female who's attempting the exam from the SC category, but she scores ridiculously well, and so she then becomes eligible to claim earn a seat in the unreserved category. So one SC seat opens up. Do you understand how this works? Slightly complex, but however, do not again overanalyze it, because you have to take your best shot any which way. Alrighty. So hopefully this gives you a fair idea as to what exactly is happening in the seat department. Alrighty. Now we go ahead to the score analysis of what everyone is up to, what everyone's not up to, and how did people score. Hopefully ideally this breakup should be more than enough. Do not overthink as to how all of this is happening. Now in 22, so I think, yeah, so it was Ayushi, she was in our online batch, she got rank 1 in 22. She scored a 56.25 in part A and a 50.5 in part B, and then there was this interview component that used to happen in 22, does not happen today. So can't really say as to, and there were additional marks for the interview as well. So part B had the case laws, the cases rather, and the essay, and then the interview was there. Yeah, sorry, had to make a quick edit, had to take an urgent call any which way. So however, whatever I was saying, so the interview marks, they do not matter now. So she scored a 56.25, 50.5. I think there was another student who got rank 6. Her name was Meher Gandhi. And she had a 55 and 38.5 in part B. Now, just see this score ranges and just see what happens. So now in 23, the UR cutoff, I remember this very precisely because there was a student named Sahana Das who was an excellent student, but she scored a 100.25, and there was no wait list in 23. Had there been a wait list in 23, she would have also made it any which way. So 100.5 was the cutoff. One of my, so Jaivansh, who's a dear student, unka interview bhi yahan pe pada hua hai. 23 wali list I'll display, like I'll just move here, and then on the thumbnail I'll display. So these were the people. So now just analyze as to these students were there in, a lot of students were there in the mocks only, and a lot of students were there in the online batch. So it's always a 50-50 mix of as to who all make it. So in 23, Jaivansh scored a 100.75, as in 100.75, made it by 0.25 marks. There was also a student called as Aditya, I think abhi unka naam aaya hoga screen pe. He had scored 107.25. So there was no rank list in 23. They didn't give the ranks out. And there was a student, I believe, not mine completely, I will never do that here. I think he had secured 113. I didn't, and he didn't belong to any coaching, by the way. So he secured 113, as far as I remember, from one of the Telegram groups that the N number of them are there. And he, of course, was not associated with any coaching, so he could secure 113. I believe that was the rank 1 in 23. I didn't see any further scores, any scores that were greater than his, any which way. So 107 was at by Aditya. So these scores are very, very manageable. Secondly, see in 24, again, Meher secured, again, a student of our online batch. She did, unka interview pada hua hai, she did a fabulous job in detailing out a strategy for self-rep folks. So you can watch that, and I believe that if you get in touch with her, she can provide you much more guidance. And because she did a fabulous job in her interview as well. You can watch that interview right on our channel in the NLSAT playlist. Of course, she was enrolled, I think, in the full batch, and then 61.25, and part B was 47.25, so she secured 108.5. And then rank 15 was Nikita, again, one of our online batch students. Give me 1 second. I will now display here the 24 people who were associated with us. And again, it's a mix of people from online batches and mocks. If you wish to enroll with us in our mocks, they're starting out soon. I think on the 30th of December, there is one mock happening as well at the center. So all of our mocks are offline based. So you can take them, you can attempt them at your home as well. We courier them out to you. We have a pack of 10 mocks for this year. We also have a pack with video discussions, but marketing aside, let's get back to topic. And yeah, I know, like for example, the 24 list that I just displayed. So what happens in certain scenarios is that people take all the help and then later on they claim that they weren't helped at all. But let's not take a negative tone in this video. Any which way. So 15, Nikita का interview भी आप देख सकते हैं. She again did a very fabulous job in detailing out her strategy. You can get input from her. That is part A is 61.25, part B was 35.25. And then you have rank 22 again. Deepika ji was there in our online batch, but she was primarily focused very much on the mocks. So that's part A was 56.25, part B was 38.25. I think she took only the mocks as far as now I can recall. Ritik was also there, rank 14. I think she wrote the best answers of this year. However, her rank 14 was there, and I think she enrolled in multiple mock series. So she was here, there, everywhere. However, she prepared on her own as far as I can remember. Rank 41, Laksh scored a 53.75 and part B was 35. Now, if you see here and here, if you see these scores, just see a pattern. Just see a pattern यहाँ पर. Anything above a 53ish in part A gets you to part B mostly across all categories, is what my logical deduction based on all of these scores are. And I've been associated with this exam for a long time now, since 22, 23, 24, and now it's basically the 4th year. And this is what I've observed from the mocks as well, that anyone who's securing a 53 plus-ish always tends to show up on the list. All right. So these are the mark ranges, and yeah, this I've already discussed. So you need these marks. Why do I stress on the mocks? So for example, let us say that so in this examination, some students are, so there's no age limit to low. So for example, if you're a 28, 29-year-old, or let us say that you're a 35-year-old, or it's a 32-year-old, so it's a definite distinct cognitive advantage. Perhaps you can manage your time better, etc. And some people do need mocks, so the younger folks to really check. So we have conducted 2 mocks for our online batch at our center, and many people whom I think have a very decent chance of making and breaking through the merit list haven't been able to complete the mock. So they weren't able to complete mock 1, and then mock 2 they did remarkably better. So to learn time management, this examination is all about time management. To learn it, you perhaps will need mocks, whether from us, whether from anyone else, doesn't really matter. And that decision is always on you. That decision is on your pocket. That decision is how much you want to invest, etc. We will also open up a new pricing plan for the last 3 or 4 months, the 4 months that are left for the online batch. We do send out material. We do send out current affair notes. If you think you need help, perhaps you can consider that. Now I will wind up this session. Hopefully this has given you a very broad overview of the examination. I will wind up this session and then proceed ahead to discuss a passage from part A. Let us discuss that in detail. In the meantime, by the time that I shoot that video, edit it, produce it, and upload it to YouTube, refer to the NLSAT playlist on the channel. It has multiple resources. Refer to a current affairs video that I also did for NLSAT, and NLSAT tends to ask a lot of pop culture MCQs. They had also asked which of the following is the highest grossing film of Shah Rukh Khan. In 22, they had asked about which US Supreme Court judge, the first black woman judge, replaced which of the following US Supreme Court judges. So NLSAT tends to ask some very, very random CA. and you need to be amply prepared for that. And then the main thing that you need to be prepared is the CR portion, and then attempt mocks from wherever or wherever you can source them from. Alrighty, now wishing you all the very best. Yes, you do have enough time. Hopefully this session has been of help to you. Please do consider leaving a like and a comment. I've never said this in my videos before, but what happens is that when people don't do any of either of those options, the videos tend to die out, and despite all the hard work, the video sinks on YouTube among the plethora of YouTube videos that are there on the same topic. Any which way, that is completely up to your discretion, and I do not like to say this, but today I thought let's go ahead and say it. Any which way, I'll be more than happy to take up your questions, and I'll be more than happy to reply to them in comments. Wishing you all the very, very best for this exam, and I'll see you in further sessions for this year. Wishing you all the very best. Take care. May God